Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much, everybody, once again for joining us. Well, as usual, my name is Lydia Tet Olet, and I'm so sorry actually about last week on Wednesday. You know, I was just looking at our studio. It was actually flooded, and I thought I was somewhere in Kenya or somewhere in Africa visiting Ghana or Nigeria. I could not think I was in the UK, but the system that they have in place, they drained all the water, so I'm glad. So today we're here again. So thank you so much for your patience, and also we're just a little bit late. You know what they say about technology? Technology in my language, technology, like technology defeated people, just to translate it, direct translation. So guys, thank you so much. And I'm actually so happy today because I'm not doing Zoom today. Today I have people in my studio. So I have Andy here with me today.
Hello.
So if I want to do a high five, I can actually do a high five.
Yeah.
And I also have Alex here with me today. So if I want to do another high five, I can actually do a high five. So I'll let Alex and Andy introduce themselves further before we start. Today is all about insurance, okay? That's our topic today. And I know that sometimes when people meet these guys, including me, they run away because they're like, oh, insurance people are coming, let's take cover. But you don't know that the cover you're taking the cover in the wrong places. You should be taking cover with us, not away from us. So that's why we're here today, to just advise you about insurance and to create awareness out there in regards to insurance, the good policy, bad policy, and we're also going to talk about 3 things that insurance providers lie about. So before we start, without further ado, I'll let Andy introduce himself. So, Andy.
Brilliant. So thank you very much, Lydia.
You're
My
welcome.
name is Andy Achuga. I'm a business coach, but I also work in insurances by promoting financial protection. Just as my colleague here, Alex. We all work just around the same companies, and we're able to help you in terms of getting your financial protection streamlined, and that's what we specialize in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy. Okay, now we're going to Alex.
First of all, thank you, Lydia, to invite me to be here. So it's a pleasure, being with you. I'm Alex Arruda. I am Brazilian, live in this country since 2000, exactly 21 years now. Been working with insurance now since 2005, so I need 16 years with insurance, one way or one other. And you know, that's an area that not every day is a learning thing, so every day we're learning things. But you know, that's why we're here, just to share, after 16 years, what I learned working on this industry.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I know when people hear insurance, first of all, our insurance pays. Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask you, Alex, I know that sometimes when you see some adverts, and because I'm into insurance myself, and I know that a lot of times insurance companies, either it's insurance company themselves or it's the broker that give the wrong information. So we have these things that they say they're not going to check into your medical if you have a medical
Condition.
medical condition, underlying issues, but when it comes to claim, they say again that we have to go back to the GP. So how
Exactly.
does that work?
You just have to remember that now insurance company are armed to the teeth to not pay anything. So no one is going to be saying, "Oh, Lydia, you broke your leg. Here's a check of £1,000 for you because you had that." So most of the times there is a hidden line there that as much as they say, we accept you under all the terms and conditions, no questions asked, but doesn't mean that they don't want to know. They're not going to be asking you, but it's still your obligation to tell them what you have. If you don't tell that, you're just not validating your policy, and you're just wasting your money, just paying for something that now when you think that you need, it's not going to be working.
So what you're trying to say is, even though they did not ask me for my medical record, They didn't ask me if I have any medical issues because that was their advertisement. When they advertised, they said, oh, we're not going to ask you for any medical. So it's my obligation to now start opening up and telling them, well, last year I had this, 5 years ago I had this, 10 years ago I had this. Do they give me that chance to say that or that opportunity?
No, that's not an opportunity created for you, but that's your obligation to go after the provider, the insurance company, and declare what you have. Because now they're going to be saying, okay, so that was for someone that you don't have anything, but you have something, so we have to adjust, or I don't know if I'm going to be accepting your case, or we're going to be excluding. So there's always a mechanism that now they're going to be doing if you have any condition. If you don't, that's brilliant. So you don't have to say anything. But if you have it, yes, you have to declare.
And for how many years should I declare? What if I had something 5 years ago or 10 years ago? Do I need to declare everything that I had?
Yes, the major things you have to declare. Like now said, I just had a client now that now she had hepatitis C. And normally, if you have hepatitis, if you had that within the last 15 years, so you accepted, no problem. But hepatitis is something that you're always going to be living in and debilitate your liver. So if you have something else, so they have just to look into your case. So this client, that she was accepted, so she has cover. But again, she has to pay more because now she is in a different condition at the moment.
Okay. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please bring your questions forward and we're going to answer your questions. I have two gentlemen here, including myself, who are very knowledgeable when it comes to insurance policy. And if you have any questions, we're going to answer your question. So I'll come back to that actually, because I want to ask as well, what is the medical condition that I have to declare? If I had a headache, I had a toothache, I had that, but I'll come back to that, okay? Now, also, I know that we talk about, because I'm into this business, so I know there's some providers or some places that you get insurance, and I don't want to mention them, and they sell you life insurance, but they don't actually specify that there's life insurance this, life insurance that. So I hear there's accidental, there's this. So what is that all about?
Yeah, okay, yeah. So thank you very much, Lydia, for that question. I think that's very, very common. And this I've seen in my experience, I don't know about you, Alex, but I've seen in my experience that it usually happens to people that normally the people I like to call the DIYers, you know, like they like to take out their own insurance. They go out there, they take something and they think, okay, I'm knowledgeable, I know what I'm doing. Or they walk into the bank and then they get sold a policy, and like Alex said before, it's your responsibility to look through the details, especially if you are going to be DIYing this. If you're going to be doing this yourself, you have to. Now, you did mention something about accidental cover. Now, what we are finding recently is that there's a lot of people who have quote-unquote accidental cover disguised as life insurance. So they could buy a policy and they are told that this is a life policy, and to them they have life insurance. If they die, it will pay out. But unfortunately, it only pays out on accidental death. There are policies out there like that.
So what you're saying is we have two policies, two different policies. We have death insurance, life insurance, which is of course death insurance, but death with anything, it doesn't matter how you die.
Yes.
And then we have another one, which is only if you die by accident, only accidental death. So if somebody was to die with cancer or they're sick, no payment done.
No payment. It's not natural death.
Okay.
So usually some policies, if you read carefully, will tell you, okay, this will cover natural death. Anything to do with illnesses or anything like that, those are natural. If you die from an accident, it's most likely not very natural, so you're not covered. So usually we'll find a lot of people who say, oh, I've got life cover, I'm paying £5, I'm paying £10, I'm saving a lot of money, and you want me to pay more, so I'm okay. But then you look into the small print and then it tells you you're actually only covered if you die through an accident. Yeah.
So when I'm going to take insurance now, do they explain to you that there's a difference between accidental death and just death? even though I didn't do it DIY, probably I went to a post office or I went to a bank. Do they explain to you and tell you, okay, this is accidental and this is, do they explain to you, or they just give you life insurance and you're happy, you just go home, hey, I've got life insurance.
Exactly. Well, based on my experience, I've seen that most people that have that type of policy, they were never told. They didn't know. They thought they had life insurance. And so most people who are selling this kind of life insurance, it could either be one of two things. They're either not insured to advise, which means it's not their obligation to actually advise you. They are selling you something, okay? And you have the groups of people who are insured to advise, who are actually advisors like us. And we are legally obliged to let you know. So you would find that sometimes it's not people's fault. It's because they've been told they've got life insurance. It's just not lying, but again, they're not telling you. So it's very gray. They say, okay, here's the life insurance. Go, obviously, it covers you if you die, but only through an accident. So most people we found, they don't know, and it's not their fault. It's just that somebody told them they've got life insurance.
And they didn't have it.
And they didn't have it.
Wow, that is so interesting. And we also have something about term. I know we get that a lot. We have term, and someone says, you ask somebody, oh, do you have insurance? Oh, yeah. For how long? No, I have life insurance. Yeah, but for how long? They don't even know that. Yeah. So, Alex, in your line of duty, have you met this? Because I know I've met this a lot.
A lot, yes. That's a common mistake. That people assume, oh, that's a life insurance, so that means the whole life, but it's not. It's for a period of time. We do have an option that's called whole of life. That now it is what they call, it's not human insurance, as they said, that now it's a kind of investment. Because either you die today or in 15 years, that policy will pay out. So that's why they consider more like investment than actually a risk. Because if you take a policy now, that's why they have the massive payouts up to age 70 or 80. Because if you die, that's the company that now is going to be paying all that money for you, that something happens. But if you don't die, so that's it. So you also don't get any money turning back. But people tend to get confused. Yeah, so I have my life insurance. They assume that's for the whole life, but it's not. We tend just to go for up to normally up to age 70, because that's when it's a financial issue. So people may have kids or mortgage or company that still depends on them. And after that, when you're retired, it's just mainly just to cover your funeral expenses or leave some money, inheritance for someone. But that's a major misconception about, assume that now your policy is going to be for the whole life.
Yes. So there's that thing. So you've spoken about whole of life. So whole of life is where it's what you just said, rightfully said, is like an investment, because it doesn't matter if you die. Because I know I meet a lot of people, especially our people, and they'll tell you, oh, God forbid, I'll never die. I'll die at 200. I'll die at 100. It doesn't matter. Even if you die at 200 or 100, you're still gone.
Yes.
So is that where whole of life now comes to place, when I die at 200? For those ones who want to die at 200?
Well, if you have money for all of that, yes. So yes, because it is a quite expensive policy. Normally, it depends on the age that you have. If you're going to take, normally it's £1 for 1,000. So if you pay £10, it's going to be paying about 10,000. It's different that now the term that we're talking about, the short policies, that they may be paying £10 and get £200 if you're young or 150 or whatever it is. So yeah, so that if you can afford that, that's a very good policy for you to have, because you're always going to be making sure that now you're leaving something behind.
Yeah. Okay.
And the youngest that you take is always the better. It's going to be cheaper.
So the younger you are, the better. It's because you're going to pay longer.
Exactly.
That's more time to pay.
Okay. Yeah. So so you see whole of life as an investment, because at the end of the day you still get it.
You always are going to get it. So it's not a risk. So that policy will pay out.
Yeah. But the thing with insurance is, like you say, there's either 70 years, 80 years, and because you're protecting your liability,
Yes, and your financial status as well, your financial dependence. Now, if let's say today, people are just getting kids a little bit older, now 40s,
Yeah.
some people even 50s.
Mm.
So they will have people depending on you. So normally that's not a rule, so it's not mandatory. So you can expend as much as you want. If you have money, if your budget allows you to go to 80, 85, 90. Some policies go and terminate at 90. But you just have to remember that you're not going to pay up to 90 years. If you died with 90 years and one day, the policy is not going to pay.
Okay, so because that is where a lot of people get confused, and a lot of people are like, oh, so what happened to my money? I'm 80, my money is gone. And you're thinking, your money is not actually gone,
No.
because your
No.
money was protecting you
Yeah.
through that period. Your money was protecting you. So your money is not actually gone. Because the thing is, I always tell people that unless you have a contract with God, and God have told you that you're going to die when you're 80 or 20 or 70,
Yes.
then I'll say, you know, I don't want insurance because I have a contract with God and I know that I'm going to die when I'm 85 or I'm 90.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
as long as you don't know when this is going to happen, because I always say this is a journey and we're in a bus, right? And God is the one driving that bus. And we don't know when we're getting off.
No.
And when that bus stops, every bus stop that the bus stops, someone has to get off.
Absolutely.
But we don't know who's
Yeah.
going to get off.
No.
So because you don't know when you're going to get off of the bus, you need to have insurance to protect you and your children at that particular time. But the thing is, when they don't tell you that there's a time limit to it,
No.
I think that's where now people get confused.
People get a bit confused with the time limit. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Life insurance and life insurance for the whole life.
Mhm.
You know, that's when they get confused. Yeah, so all this that now is absolutely important for people to understand that now it's not that the money is gone. You are taking a risk that now if you die before that age, someone's going to pay a lot of money.
Yes.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you don't, so thanks God you didn't need it, so
Mm.
go for something else.
Yes.
You know, but you know, you cannot keep looking for that money that, oh, I wasted that money. It's not, because if something happened, and we cannot predict it when this kind of things happen.
Mhm.
You know, like I am 46 now, and with age 36, I found out that now I have leukemia.
Mhm.
Almost died at age 36. And I imagined no, I never would have such a thing.
Mm.
Now, a really long time. So all these kind of things you cannot imagine or predict or you expect that, oh
Mhm.
yes, at age 50 now I'm going to have the complication
Yes,
of this or
yes.
this and that. We never know, so
Yeah.
that's why we have to protect ourselves and protect our families.
Mm.
Because we
Mm.
love them, we don't want them to see them in struggle. It's hard enough being without us or without, you know, the mother or the father, and still have to struggle without, you know, the money, the financial support that not they provide.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Andy, do you have anything you want to add on to that? The term thing?
Yeah, usually when what I do say to people is when people say, "Oh, I've spent my money, I've wasted my money because I didn't claim." The way you have to look at it is that the fact that you're going to bed. I do ask clients, like, when you're going to bed, do you close your windows? They go yes. Do you lock your doors? They go yes. And yet you live in a very safe country. Yes. Why do you lock the door? Are you expecting somebody to come in? And they go, well, I don't know. Somebody might come in. But has anybody come in before? In the past, how many years you lived in your property? They go, no. So that it's the same analogy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know if somebody's going to come, like you said, the bus stop. You don't know when that stop is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you then take the assumption that you are actually going to be fine and you wouldn't need it, you leave other people in very difficult financial situations, right? There's been a statistic that out in a class of little children, out of 20 children, one will lose a parent
Yeah.
before they reach high school.
Yes.
So it does happen all the time. It's not that it doesn't happen.
That can be you anytime.
It can be you. It can-
Because and the thing is, I always tell people as well is they misunderstand the concept of insurance is because they'll say, oh, you people want us to die, and I'm like, you don't know, insurance people are praying for you
Praying
not to
for
die
you not to
because
die,
they don't want to
exactly.
make payment.
Yep.
So they're praying for you not to die so that they don't make payment. Okay, so what I'm going to ask you as well, at what age, what is the minimum? What is the minimum? What's the minimum and what's the maximum? What's the minimum? And
What's the minimum
maximum?
of
Minimum
of 10?
age?
Minimum age of taking a life policy?
Yeah.
I think it starts at 18.
18,
You can take
yes,
you can take a
no
policy at
insurance,
age 18.
no policy
Yeah.
can be taken. If sometimes they allowed you to go at age 16,
16.
Mhm.
but no more than,
No
than
more-
that.
no more
so
than
you have to be certain age just to take that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you cannot take for your kids. You're not.
Yeah.
But you take a policy on you that eventually just involve your kids. But the kids don't have their own policy until age
Mhm.
16, 17, or 18.
Okay, so when I have children and they're like 18 or 16, I can take policy out for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so what's the maximum age that I can take out?
There
insurance?
is no age limit on that. There's always companies that accept or not. So right now we're dealing with a client that now he's 78 years old, and he should want to have £1 million policy. So for more 20
Wow,
years or
he's
something.
78 and he
Yes.
wants $500,000.
Yes, it
That's a
was
smart
about it.
client.
Yes,
The grandchildren will be happy.
At 78?
78.
Wow.
So he's trying to, and yes, we do have providers that know we are going to be placing him to get that level of cover that he does. So it's always depending on who is going to be accepting that client. So we always have, that's our job as advisors. We're not salesperson people. We always have to advise and check in the market who is the best option. So
Yeah.
that's not a sale. So this is not £10 okay, give me £10 take. So I'm seeing if that £10 is good for you or that one is 20. So don't go for the 10, go for that. So that's how we advise. And that's what we're going to be doing with this client that now he's 78 to see who is going to be the best offer for him for his cover.
I know, just to clarify that as well, there is different providers that do different things.
Yes.
So there's some provider who can, because I also have a client who is 78. In fact, now she's over that. But when I gave her insurance, that was 2 years ago, she was 78. So now she's above that. And I know there are some insurance providers, because we don't want to mention their names. We have some insurance providers who will take a 78-year-old, some won't. And some will go up to 80, some won't. So it depends with the provider. So as we insurance
That's our work.
advisors,
Yeah.
that's our work, because we know who will give you and
Yes.
who will not give you.
Exactly.
Okay, but when you're taking insurance, with the maximum years to pay is up to the age of 90 with life
Yeah.
insurance.
Yes,
Yeah.
normally it's 90. Yes, really rare that you're going to find someone that's going to be beyond that. But eventually, if someone that's too young, eventually they'll allow you to go to 92, 93, 95. But it's really rare.
No, really rare. So
Yeah.
that again depends with the
They
provider.
guess the provider in when you take, how old you are when you take.
Okay, so I'm coming back to the question that I asked you before, regards to medical, that the medical that you have to declare and say. So do you declare anything? Because I had my knee operation, and that was some years back. And if you had probably a problem with your teeth, really bad, and whatever, do you declare every single thing?
Yes,
or is there
always-
just some things that you have to
always talk-
declare?
Yes, always talking to someone that actually understands what they're talking about. Like now, your knee. Unless you have severe cancer problems in your bones, you're not going to die because you have knee problems. That's not going to cause an issue. But like now I have a lady that she a few years ago she had one ovary removed because she had something that was suspicious to have cancer.
Yes.
So the issue is that now no one understands that when she dies, now they're going to be autopsy on her. And they're going to say, hang on, where's the ovary here? No more, every woman has two. So what's going on here?
Wow.
What did she not tell me
us.
what was going on here? And then she died of that. So because I don't know about other cultures, but like in Brazil, if you die in the morning, they bury you in the afternoon. So that's what happens. But in this country, nobody does too much autopsy there. But here, everyone has to go for autopsy. So there comes a report. So every neglected to say that now, oh yes, I had a problem with my ovary because now I had suspicion of cancer or whatever it is that happened. Because no, you didn't lose that, oh yes, I went to the traveling and I forgot to put it
Yeah,
back. So
yeah.
something happened is really important,
Yes. For you
something
to lose
for
that.
to lose that.
Yes.
So they said, well, that's neglect. So we said, Lydia didn't tell me that she didn't have that. So one thing they do, discuss, void, so no payment.
So why is it that insurance company don't pay? Clean, Andy.
One is what he, my colleague has mentioned here, is the fact about non-disclosure, right? If you don't disclose something, which is as serious as getting one ovary removed, that policy will not pay out. There is no way that is going to pay out. Now, I have a client who I'm dealing with at the moment, and he took out a mortgage recently, and his mortgage advisor said, I can give you insurance to go with your mortgage. So the mortgage advisor gives him an insurance, but he's diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure. Now, insurance companies, when it comes to those two things, they are very careful. Now, he's had this policy running for 1 year. Bearing in mind, he's been paying about 100 and something pounds every single month. Now, when I met him, I said to him, okay, this is how much you're paying, but he has critical illness cover.
Wow,
both of us know that
that's not true.
It's not true.
Yeah.
There's no way he could have critical illness
If you have diabetes.
if he has diabetes. So after digging, after a few more days, trying to let him see sense that, look, there's no way you can be covered under critical illness if you've got any of these two conditions. He decides to call the company and ask the company himself. And he found out that if indeed he would have died yesterday, today, tomorrow, there was no way he was going to get paid. So what had happened, although he told the mortgage advisor thought, okay, I'm going to save you a little bit of money here, because obviously he doesn't tell the client. And so you might be paying around about 250, 300 pounds. So he does not disclose that little thing there.
But that's not little though.
That's not little. It's a big thing.
It's a very
So
big thing.
it's non-disclosure. It's not disclosed. Whether you did not disclose it or the agent you spoke to did not disclose it, you're not going to get paid.
Yeah, so who is to blame, like in this situation? I have an advisor. Come on. I hear you people talk to an advisor, don't do DIY. So I just got an advisor. And then my advisor again gives me the wrong advice. So who is here to blame?
Bear in mind, that was not a insurance advisor. That was a mortgage advisor. It's two different things. Like, with my experience, some mortgage advisors focus a lot on mortgages. Now, I've had a lot of clients who've come with very inconsistent information from a mortgage advisor. Why? Because their job is advising on mortgage. If you really want somebody you can hold responsible, you should be talking to a financial advisor or an insurance advisor, somebody who specializes in that area. But to come to the question, is both parties' fault, because you should be looking at those documents. I know it's a big, huge, massive document, but there is always something they call statement of needs and demands, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Once you take out a policy, the insurer or the broker has to send you a summary of what you took, which will tell you you have life insurance, this is how much it costs, you have critical illness, this is how much it costs, these are all the medical, you disclose this information you gave us. So you should look at that document. It's not a big document. It's sort of like 2-3 pages. You can skim through it. So it's both parties need to make sure that they've got the right thing.
But you see, I'm just going to disagree with you there, that both parties should be blamed, because I think you should be blamed. You should take responsibility, and that is you as the person who is taking the mortgage. Because the
To
thing
make
is,
sure that
to make sure
Yeah.
the use is safe.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the
You have
thing
the
is
right cover.
exactly. Because the thing is, tomorrow I'm not there. So who are you
Sure.
going to blame? Are you going to call and say, I spoke to some lady called Lydia, and they'll be with red hair? They're like, oh, we're sorry, Lydia is not here anymore. And now, at that time, it's you who is going to lose, because it's you who's been paying all that money.
Yeah.
Lydia was paid for doing her job already. She's left, she's gone, so who is to blame? So I feel like when it comes to things, especially with insurance, life in general, but when it comes to the insurance, because it's so expensive, you're paying every month. Some people pay up to 250 a month.
Yeah.
We've
Exactly.
seen people pay
Yep.
250 a month. So you're paying all this money, and then at the end of the day, you're not going to be given anything. And then you now want to phone and say, I spoke to somebody in the bank. I spoke to... So I think also as we talk, we should come out of this ignorance, because there's so much ignorance of, or Lydia gave it to me, so I believe what Lydia said. I'm not reading it. And it's even though it's a big document, but where it says what you have is so small.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Very
you say, because it's medicals is there. So if you say you have diabetes and Lydia did not write it down,
would
there's
know.
somewhere that says medical. So just go on the important things. Important things is check your medical if you have, check if it was ticked, check how much money you're going to get at the end. There are some things that are very crucial. So
Yeah.
you don't even need to read the whole
Full
document.
document. It's true.
No.
It's true.
Yeah, because
Very
there's
true.
something called summary that now has the highlight of your
Yes.
policies. But just to get the hunch here, what Andy said is, mortgage people, advisors, just provide insurance to protect your house. So many times now I have just to redo mortgage insurance because now they protect your house. Yeah, and again, yes, so that's important because now they have a line of thinking that now, yes, some help if something happens, so you pay the house and your family comes and help. But most of us don't have all the families or friends.
Yes.
It's just us.
Yes.
So that's why now for us it's important to not only pay the house but leave some extra money.
Yeah.
Because as a joke with my clients, say, yeah, so yes, this broker did a great job protecting your house. But if you die, so what they're going to be eating? The walls? They're going to be eating through the walls because now there's no money left.
Yes.
So that's something that now you just always have just to be asking for the second opinion, especially because it's free.
Yes.
We do always a review, explain everything that now you have, and provide some extras. Because now even that saying, I don't want to touch that one. Okay, you keep that one, but we do some other options, that can
Yes.
fit in your budget just to help you,
And
through all these kind of things.
there's also just coming to what you've said, that are they going to eat walls? Just coming back to that.
Sorry,
No, that's
I don't know how that tastes like.
Like chalk?
Yeah, I don't know. I never tried that.
chalk, innit? Yeah, like-
well, yes, put some
No,
sauce on
but-
top.
No, but that is good. But also, coming back to mortgage as well, is a lot of people don't know about the 40% inheritance tax.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that.
No.
So even though their mortgage, and I don't understand, the mortgage advisors should actually tell them. But the fact that I've met so many people with mortgages, when I tell them 40% inheritance tax, they don't even know what that is.
No.
Yeah, no.
So if you're taking insurance to protect your mortgage, you should also make sure that you have something for
That
that
protects.
40% that
Yes.
will protect that 40%.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have it, trust me, the government is going to take your house.
And
The
for
Queen
some
is
doesn't
waiting.
Yes.
She's gonna take your house.
Comes
Oh,
them
like
big, yes,
this.
yes, keep
Big
rocking.
hands.
Oh,
Big hands.
thank you.
And the 40% as well is the value of your property, not what is left. Because some people
Yeah.
say, okay, I've paid my mortgage is 400,000. I've paid 300. I'm only left with 100K. So if I take insurance for 100K, that's fine. But 40% is the value
The
of your
estate.
property.
Yeah.
It's not the 100% that is
No.
left.
Yeah.
But they don't know that.
No.
And that is why we, as insurance advisors, we come in and we tell people it's important to have insurance. It's so important to have insurance. And now I want to talk about generational wealth. And I know in my community, or in a black community in general, I know in Ghana, Kenya, it's like that, whatever. I don't know so much about Brazil, but I know in our in African community or black community, we talk about so much, we believe in so much about generational curses and generational poverty. And we have to suffer. It's suffering. Before you get to where you're going, you have to suffer. We still don't know about this blueprint of generational wealth.
Yeah.
So if we get the blueprint of generational wealth, a lot of this other community, if you meet them, they tell you, my nan left me this, my mom left me this, my dad left me. It's always somebody left 400,000 for them, 300 for them to start. But for us, it's always, they never left anything for me. So why would I leave it for my children?
I'll have 10 pounds.
You understand? Oh, if I give them the money, they'll be lazy. They have to work hard. Why should we always think that we have to struggle to get to where we're going? It's always about they have to struggle because I struggled. They have to suffer because I suffered. So I'm not going to tell, oh, when I die, they'll bury me. I'm not there. I don't care who buries me. There's all these things that I get, that you understand?
Yeah.
I don't know, is it Brazilian
No,
community?
I'm sorry. No, we don't. We want
Yeah.
We don't want them to be as bad as we were. We want them to be better.
But
honestly.
it is there. The people we meet, and
Well, yeah.
sometimes as well, you meet people. Okay, before I go to the God, Jesus is my assurance one, let me leave that one. Yeah, let me leave that one first, and just talk about this generational wealth. So we need to change our mindset and get that blueprint that everybody has. How do they get that? How do they go to that cycle of generational wealth when we're going to the cycle of generational poverty and generational curses and I don't know and generational struggle and you know, so we need to change that mindset. So how do we start changing that? Because I've been to so many events and every time I have a drawing, I love this, and I always ask people, you know, in a is it general setting, there's family, right? And there's church, people who are Christians, and there's work. And I always ask people, how do you put this one? And I'm telling you, most of the time, people get it wrong. Because they're so Christians, they're so religious, they always start with church. And I'm thinking, okay, people always put family last, they start with church, work, family, all the time. And I'm like,
That's
I don't think there's wrong answer or right answer, but if you ask me, I'll put my family first, because family comes first, and then work, and then church, because church is just a building that I have to go to, but church is within you. So we don't understand that. So I always ask them again when I come back to insurance, I say, in insurance, investment, and savings. So I put the three as well. Which one comes first? A lot of people start with savings or investment. Every time insurance is last. But I always tell them personally, insurance should be first. So now I'm going to ask you, Andy. Now somebody's watching saying, what do you mean insurance should be first? I think investment should be first. Why do you think insurance should be first?
Right. I mean, for me, I think like you have to secure what you're building. Right? It's called financial protection, right? A lot of rich people insure their money.
Blueprint.
They insure their money. That's the first thing they insure, and then they find a way of claiming back on their taxes. It's just the way the system works, like the blueprint. It's like when you're not protecting your finances, it's like you have a basket and you put water into the basket, and every time you put the basket is getting wet, there's some level of water in there. So you think you're okay, but then you don't realize that you're not paying yourself first. You're giving all your money away because if you're not insured, you don't have any insurance to protect your income. So insurance really protects what's there. And I always tell people, if you're paid 100%, for example, let's say my income is 100%, how do you feel about taking 5% to protect the rest of the 95? It just makes sense. Because if you're working so hard, there are people who, people from Ghana, Kenya, a lot of people do a lot of jobs. People are doing 3, 4, 5 jobs a week just to make ends meet. Now, if you break down, that income goes. There's nothing protecting that income. So insurance basically is a way of protecting your money. So it's important. If the money is going to come in, it has to be protected. Very, very important.
But in your savings, actually, because now you build up that savings. So that's why you have an insurance, just to keep that savings there.
Exactly.
So what you want to have savings, if something happens, all the savings gone.
Yeah, you dig into the savings and then
exactly.
you use the savings.
You dig into this. And that's why the blueprint comes in again.
Absolutely.
And the way I always explain this as well is the fact that if you're investing, okay, sometimes you have a short-term goal or a long-term goal, and you want to build an empire, which everybody should have a goal. Everybody should have a goal, like I'm living towards doing this. I want to do this for my children. Maybe I will never want them to take loan to go to uni, so I want to do this. But if you're doing all those things, that is what our heart desires. But that's sometimes not the reality of life. Because sometimes, and it's also risk, because you don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow to do that investment. You don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow for that saving. So the reason why I put insurance first is because the minute you're insured, if you're insured on a Monday, and you're insured for 100K, 100,000, okay? So I've gone to Andy, or I've gone to Alex, and they've insured me for 100,000, and they said, from today, sweetheart, you are insured. That's on a Monday. On a Wednesday, God forbid, I passed on. That 100K would be paid to me. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Right?
You're insured.
So if I'm insured on a Monday, and on a Wednesday, God forbid, I passed on, that 100K will be given to my family. Now, you tell me, what investment can you get 100K within 2 days? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? It's 2 days. I had to count it.
Think about it as well.
Yes.
I had to count it. So, what investment can you get
That's
100K within
that's-
2 days? Or what savings can you get within 2 days? Do you understand? So I always tell people that if you just put £10 a week for your insurance, a week, that's £40 a month.
month.
And also, depending with how old you are, that £40 a month can give you more than 100K.
Yes.
And depending with your lifestyle, if you're not a smoker, or you don't have any medical, and then you're also younger, a little bit younger, £40 can give
go a
you
long
up to
way.
300,000
Yeah,
policy,
yeah.
and then you die within a week.
That all pays out.
That pays out. So that's something that people always don't understand. They say, oh, how long will I wait for before they cover me? The minute insurance tells you that you're covered, you are covered. So if you're to die that same night, let's say I insured you in the morning, and I call you and I say, hey, sweetie, you're insured, and you're happy. Oh, yeah. And then you went to bed and you did not wake up, the money will be paid.
Yeah.
Immediately, insurance, they process your papers and you're covered, you are covered.
Yeah.
So did you want to say something about that?
Yeah, that is more like a security. For example, there's a book that talks about that, and it talks about when you have these big goals, you want to build this massive empire. One with you have to build separate buckets, isn't it? And one of the most important ones is your security bucket. You need to make sure that your health is secured, your finances are secured, and everything is secure. So that security bucket, insurance and pensions, is one of the important things that go into that bucket. So even if you're taking a small percentage and you're putting in there, like you said, that goes a long way. Plus then, if you also look at over the long term, how much you pay for an insurance. I've seen a client's long-term insurance, and at the end, they've written at the end how much you would pay at the end of the whole term. She was paying about, was it 16,000 something? The money she would get was about 260 something thousand.
If she was to die
If she
within
was
the
to die
term.
within the term.
Yeah.
So it's a huge, massive benefit, because you're only paying a little to get so much. And again, that's another reason why insurance companies are very careful who they insure, because we're not going to be giving you 100 times over what you're paying if
You are high risk.
You're high risk.
Okay. So I know some, Alex, I'm going to ask you this. Do insurance money, do they give you back your money? Because I know some people always ask me, so when I'm 80, am I going to get my money back? I'm like, sweetheart, no. So, why? Simple answer, no.
Yeah, so again, it's always that situation that we say that now it's always a risk for you and the company. If you die, so the company lost and have to pay you all the sum assured. If you don't die, the company won't, But again, if you don't die, so happy days. So you didn't need that.
Of
So
course,
that-
exactly.
So thanks God you didn't need that. But the problem is, you cannot keep looking at as the penny that's gone.
Yes.
Because now you always will find out how expensive it is the day that you need.
Yes.
Like we have not only life insurance, we have different kinds of insurance, critical illness and everything. So the day that you need, and the day that that money comes and paid to you, here it is, Lita, 2,000, 10,000, 100,000 pounds for you. And then you said, that was the money well spent that I have. Of course, that now when I found out that I had cancer, that now leukemia, I didn't have, even though I worked in insurance. It's not that I didn't believe, but now as many other people, I thought that no, I don't need it. I'm too young, so nothing's going to happen. Invincible, nothing's going to happen.
Untouchable.
And then comes, that cold bucket, cold water in your head. So yes, you have leukemia and you have 6 months. So and then just said, oh my God, I should have my policy now, because now it would be £300,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said, and back then would cost me £20 or whatever it is, or even less. I said, so I never expect that to happen to me, because again, that's what everyone thinks, that nothing ever will happen to you, to you. But you cannot guarantee.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I know that it happened, so and then you have to live with that. Today is really difficult for me, but I've still found my insurance. Now I have cover,
But now I could be covered way before and have my £300,000 in my pocket.
Yeah, you'll be rich, baby.
Being with my father, yes. You
You'll
never
be
know,
rich.
yes.
Yeah. You see, the thing what I always tell people is people put value on their life a lot, because for someone to ask you, but when I'm 80, I've wasted all that money. You are alive. You did not die. Don't place money.
Bigger than money.
It's bigger than money.
You're alive.
The fact that I'm 8 years old and hooray,
God,
I didn't
yes,
die. Thank you,
yes.
Jesus. I'm still alive. But people put so much value in their life, and they don't realize that your life is priceless.
Absolutely.
Even if I was paying £100, because personally I'm paying a lot of money for insurance. I'm paying a lot of money because I know the benefit of insurance.
I do that now.
Yes, I'm paying a lot of money. And I know that if I got to, because I'm paying myself, I'm paying up to 90. So if I passed on before 90, I know that my children are going to benefit. But if I passed on at 91 and I didn't get anything, I'll still be so happy to God that you gave me one extra year. So I don't think of the insurance. I don't think of the money I'm paying. I don't think of if I was to pass on or I don't pass on. I don't want to pass on. But if I passed on, then my children will benefit something. And that's what we as humans should think, because we live for our children. You hear
to protect your children.
To protect your children.
Your family.
Yeah, you hear somebody saying, I can't afford insurance, because we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, £40 is a lot. They spend that £40 doing a lot of rubbish with that £40. People have Gucci bags. They have expensive shoes. They go to buy shoes for £100 without even thinking. And they have so many shoes.
Yeah.
They have so many
Phones.
bags.
Yeah.
They have so many expensive watches. They have all these things. But yet they're saying they cannot afford to pay for insurance. Something that if you are to pass on, your generation... You know, I had a pastor one day preaching and saying, your generation, even your generation, you take your picture and kiss it and say, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the 300,000 that you left. Because of that today, we're not
Exactly.
striving
Yeah,
in poverty. Do you understand? And that is how we should look at it. Because when people say, I cannot afford it, I will tell you, especially people in diaspora, okay, in back home, probably in Kenya, yes, we have some people who cannot afford to pay for insurance. We do have people who can afford, but they've just misplaced their priority. And a lot of people in diaspora can afford insurance, but they've misplaced their priorities. I went to see a client, and this client was 8 years old, 80. And at that time, the only other providers are only giving him funeral cover. Okay, they're not even giving him insurance. So this other one that accepted to give him insurance, of course it was expensive. And I said, Dad, when you pass on, where do you want to go? He said he wants to be repatriated. I said, do you have money for that? He said, no. And this is his answer. Oh, that is so bad. That is so bad. But I can't afford to pay the insurance. This guy pays Sky £98 towards Sky, but yet he cannot afford £68 for his insurance policy.
To be repatriated.
To be repatriated, and that's what you want.
What's important?
It's important for him.
Yes.
To what Sky is important for you, and you want to be repatriated. If you didn't tell me, if you said, I don't care if the dogs eat my body, then that's different. But the fact that you now want, I know it's painful. It's so painful to say that. Oh, she's
dead, so you're
But the fact that you even now you're even demanding what you want, but yet you're not leaving financial support to cater for your demand. I think that's wrong.
That's very
so
wrong,
I told him, but Dad, that is so. When you pass on, what is this sky? How is this sky going to benefit your family? And how is this sky going to benefit you to be repatriated? And he was so adamant. He was like, no, I cannot leave my sky. Now, during COVID, he realized, you know what? That sky cannot help you. There's too much to life than sky, paying sky £98. So he called me. At that time now, he was 82 years. No insurance would take him. Everybody said, we're only...
Yeah, I think I got you old.
You're too old. So we can only give you funeral plan. Now, funeral cover do not repatriate.
No.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that a lot of us don't realize, because they always say, oh, I have funeral cover. I have funeral cover. So can you enlighten us more about this funeral cover?
Yeah, so basically funeral cover will only pay out, cater for your funeral when you die. So the family gets sometimes a smart thing to do, especially when you've gotten to the point where you feel like this gentleman, you can't afford the insurance or nobody will accept you, it's only wise to have a funeral cover, because funerals are expensive these days.
Yeah.
They're not cheap. You can spend almost close to 10K on a funeral, 15K on a good, decent funeral. So it caters for everything in a funeral. So what the company will do is you choose the funeral home you want them to handle your funerals, and then they will take that money and pay it directly to that funeral home. And then they would arrange everything for you, from cars to licenses to everything that you need will be paid off. The second option, which probably will be for people who want the repatriation, and which probably wouldn't be enough, will be the insurance company will pay out cash to the loved one. So they might choose a next of kin, maybe my son or my daughter, and then if they died, they take that money and then they give it to the next of kin. Now the next of kin now decides, maybe according to will or whatever, what they want to do with that. Maybe they have 5K, 2K, 3K, whatever they chose to pay. They then decide what they can do with that. If it can cover repatriation, why not? But I doubt.
Okay. Alex, I want to ask you this. Can anyone be covered? Can anyone get a life insurance? Or?
Yes, as long as now they are properly resident in UK, they fit accordingly for that. We're always able to find some kind of cover. May not be the best one, maybe whatever is available because medical condition or age or whatever it is, but we're always able to find things, some option for everyone.
So if
that's why we're the specialists, because we go, if we don't have anything, we're going to hunt for something else. I said that Legion, here's another option that I found for you.
Was the other thing that you get a lot when people say either it's just an excuse that because they don't want insurance, or they actually mean it? Because some people say, oh, I'm too old, or I'm too sick, or I'm too big, or I'm too young,
or too young, yes.
So I can't be covered. So what would you tell somebody who tells you, oh, I'm too old? I hear a lot of that. I'm too old, or I'm too sick, or I'm too big, because BMI as well affects them.
Yes.
So what would you advise somebody like that
well,
who has
you
these
just have
conditions?
just to be aware that now, yes, like now, Angie is really thin compared to me that I'm a little bit overweight. So imagine that now we have almost same age. So for me, now I'm overweight, it's going to be more expensive. But you know, we always have a way to adjust that. So if Angie, for him, imagine that now we have same age, but you know, different bodies. He's normal, I'm fat. It's going to be £10 for £100,000 cover. For me, because I'm overweight, so I'll pay £15 for the same cover.
Yeah.
But then he said, well, I cannot pay £15. So one thing that we do, we adjust the cover. So £10 is what you want. Yes, £10 is what you want. So and then we don't give £100, 100,000. We put in 50 or 60. We always can adjust in both ways, you know, if you want, if that is not what the money that you expected to pay, but you always get some cover, so you're not going to be without cover. You always have something. We're always able to adjust that suitable for what you need.
Okay. And I also hear when people say, you give somebody a cover of £10, right? And then you give their friend a cover of £15. And they come back to you and say, but why is my friend paying £10? Or my friend went to this provider, and the provider told them £20.
Yes,
why are you giving me £30? And you understand. And the things that they don't understand is there's some factors that we factor in when they're giving you insurance policy. And first is your age. Second is your lifestyle. And when we say lifestyle, lifestyle also has your weight, because your weight is your lifestyle. Because if you're eating too much junk, and sometimes it's your fault that you're big. You're not doing exercise, you're not eating the right thing, so you're big. So your lifestyle is weight and smoking. Smoking is very bad. That is
Smoking is the
insurance don't like it.
No.
Immediately you say smoking, your premium goes up. So there's these factors that we factor in. So there's age, there's lifestyle, and lifestyle is weight and smoking. There's medical issue, drinking as well, and smoking, drugs, all that, all those things. So all that is part of it. sum assured is?
So basically, sum assured is how much you're insured for
Okay.
and how much the insurance company is going to pay out.
Okay, so sum assured is what the insurance is going to pay out when you are to pass on. Okay, so sum assured. And then we also have a term. Okay, so those 5 things will differentiate how much I'll be paying for my insurance and how much Andy will be paying for his insurance, or how much Alex will pay every month. So there's no way we can be the same. Even if we are twins, we can't be twins, but our lifestyle is different. A twin maybe
is different.
and body is different.
Body is different.
Yeah, maybe one is 5'6" and they're 90, another one is 5'4" and they're 100. Come on. There's no way insurance is going to be the same. Or maybe one person is sick, the other person is not. So all these facts, we have to put all these facts in before we can tell you how much. So don't ever compare yourself and say, so-and-so is paying this and I'm paying this. It's never the same.
No.
It's never the same. And as an insurance, as we are working for Precise Protect, that one we have to say, because we work for Precise Protect, all of us. Precise, what is the benefit? Oh, I just want to talk about this.
How please need to go that road.
I want to talk about this.
Right.
Why would I, as a broker, want to join, right? Because we are also talking about recruitment, okay?
Absolutely.
Because Precise Protect is one of, I wouldn't say one, is the best.
The best.
Right? Because saying one, that means that there's another one that can compete with us.
Yeah.
But Precise Protect is the best company out there to work for. Okay? So give me one benefit that is not in any other company. That even if they check, they'll find out.
I think the biggest thing I always tell my clients is the compliance. It's one of the best things, because you know, with other companies that we've brokered for in the past, what will happen is you can skip some things. You know, you can push things under the table and it's fine. You know, trying to check it on the side, and
Don't put that they
don't
have
put
their
that
BTs.
BTs,
Don't put that
yeah,
they're big.
Exactly. When they're big, you put 75,
75 and they're 100.
100.
Put their
Exactly.
signature, sign their
Sign
signature, and they're
for
not
them.
there.
All those kind of little things, it affects the clients when they're ready to claim. Well, of course, 20 years down the line, you know, you must have moved on to another company, or you must have moved on somewhere that, and the client have to deal with it.
You
Or
died.
you must have died.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the clients have to deal with that problem. But there's one of the things I'm really proud about Precise is that they take the compliance serious. It's not just about getting a sale or just about getting people in. It's about let's do the right thing, because the most important person here is the person paying for the insurance, which is the client. So that means for me as a broker, there's less headache with future comebacks. For the client, it's peaceful, they can claim, and for the company, it's less headache. So everybody wins.
And you know, it's so funny because I know me and you, we were working for this other company, which I won't call.
Yeah.
And when I came to Precise Protect, now on a personal level, I really struggled.
Yeah.
I really struggled with
Yeah.
compliance, because where I used to work before, they would tell you, bring £50. Now, let me give you a scenario. You meet a client and you want to give, where I was before, you want to give the client the most expensive, because what they're expecting you to bring is big money in the bag.
Yeah.
So if you came back and say, oh, this client only signed £20, they're asking you, why? Why couldn't this client sign £50 or £80? So we where I was before, it was about you have to drive Bentley, you have to drive Rolls Royce within a week, within a month, because you have to tell the client to sign £100 and £80 and £50. When I came to Precise Protect, I still had the mentality of £80, £50. And then they start questioning me. Why is the client paying 50? Why not 20? I'm thinking, are you okay? So you want client I brought you money. You want client to pay 20 instead of 50? Are you okay?
And that is why for me Precise is the best place, because they are not about Rolls Royce, Bentley. No, they're about
The client.
the client. So So if you write, if you do a policy for a client and it's £50, they question you. And I'm thinking, you're not supposed to question me. You're supposed to cry. I brought £50.
You don't get clapped for
You
big
don't get,
premiums.
you don't get clap for big premiums in Precise Protect.
No.
And you, like what you just said, Andy, I think that is the best thing for me
Yeah.
as well with Precise Protect. That's the best thing that ever happened, because now I know that we are for the client, not for your own Bentley and Mercedes Benz.
Yeah.
We are for the client. Even if you're using the train, the client is happy.
Yeah.
And that protects the client, protects you as a broker or the advisor, and also protects the company.
Everybody
Because
wins.
everybody wins, because the compliance is so strict. It's so strict in Precise Protected. That's why we see that people who come from other companies, they struggle.
Everyone.
Everyone struggles. I struggled for a month.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody struggles.
Yeah.
Some people even
Everybody.
struggle longer.
Yeah.
Everybody struggles. So to you, Alex, what do you think is the best thing?
Well, just to finish the compliance is that people don't. As I said, I used to work previously in offices, like working doing the compliance, and you have no idea how much you have to write and explain to FCA, because FCA is Financial Conduct Authority. That
Yes.
check our job,
Yeah.
see everything's okay, to make sure that I'm not selling you £100, as you mentioned, just because I want that.
Yes.
It's just because it's the best thing for you. And once that you understand all this paperwork that you have to be done in the background, and then other companies, the one that you came and other ones that they don't do that, or
Yes.
they have the system that you. So you are an incomplete professional because you don't understand compliance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Either there's something that someone is doing, that's another company that now has a massive system that does everything, so you don't have to learn, or you come from the same company that you came, that now they don't do it. And yeah, so you see that now for me, that was not too much a struggle, because I used to do way worse than that. So yeah, so I used to do way more than that. So when it comes to Precise, there was a different way to work, but yeah, so I got that. So because I already knew how to do it. But also, Precise is a company that now is one of the fastest one growing. So we're growing every day in our numbers and service and products and people. And apart from that, the strong compliance, is one of the fastest one that not pays.
Yes.
So if you
Fastest
sell
one to
here,
pay,
so
yeah.
you get paid next week or
Yes,
something
that's
like
right.
that.
That's right.
It is what I think that now for us that now we work is Tony always take that really serious. Tony is the owner of Precise Protect, as you all know, because he was like us, one broker once. So he knows how life is difficult. So he tries to create this environment to make you, me, everyone feel safe. That's now we can be happy working. That's now we're gonna get paid. We're gonna get properly paid. There's nothing that's wrong. Yes, eventually we are humans. Eventually one or another mistake happens. But I never had problems with any way or anything with Precise in 4 years.
No, that's good. And also, we have in Precise Protect, they have their own in-house products.
Yes.
Because what I've realized,
Exclusives.
other companies don't really have in-house product. When you say in-house product, our own product that we're selling for Precise Protect,
Only.
Yeah.
only Precise Protect only has those products.
absolutely.
And one of the product that Precise Protect has, and that's why when I asked Alex that question, that can anybody be insured? If you're with Precise Protect, you can be insured. Anybody can
always,
be insured.
always,
Even
always,
if you
yeah.
had cancer, you had stroke, whatever you had, if you cannot be insured in the mainstream with the other providers, Precise Protect can insure you. So that's something else that Precise Protect has that not any other.
Yes, always
Yeah,
accept it.
absolutely.
We always accept. Doesn't mean that now they're gonna get covered on the cancer or on pre-existing condition, but now you always get some cover.
You always get
Always
some
get some
cover.
level of cover,
And
absolutely.
we also have. I don't know if I should say this because my clients will come to me and say, Lydia, you say this.
I want to say that.
I don't know, should I?
You're in trouble now, girl.
I'm in trouble. But like when you're doing, like, even with Sky, come on, Sky always give their new clients their new client stuff. So the old clients were sorry, we love you so much, but we are sorry that this is just a new product that came, because what Precise Protect does, they're out there to look after their client. So they looked around and they thought, why don't we reward our clients?
That's
So
amazing. Yeah.
there's a
Amazing.
reward, there's an incentive, because I know there's no incentives out there with no,
No, they
insurance
just
company.
take the money and that's
They
it.
just take the money and that's,
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
basically, yeah.
Exactly, but we have incentives. So that's another good thing to work for Precise Protect. So if you're somebody out there, financial advisor, or looking to venture into finance or into insurance, please get in touch with Precise Protect, because we look after you. And the other thing I've realized with Precise Protect, there's no fear factor. Because I came from an insurance broker where I used to work before, not mentioning names because there are a lot of them, driven with fear factor. That if you don't bring, so because of that competition of I have to bring £100 or £50, so we get people who suffer depression, people suffer stress, people suffer
Too much pressure.
anxiety
Too much
because
pressure,
there's
yeah.
too much pressure. But with Precise Protect, and that's the other thing I love, there's work at your own pace.
Yeah.
And don't bring £50 and think they'll clap for you. Bring £20, they'll appreciate it.
No,
And that's what,
absolutely.
you understand? And that's what
Because it's proper advice, and that's what Precise always want everyone to do, is work properly.
yes.
If you're happy, just having some extra money, some extra cash, because one thing that's important is there are people that already works on an industry, already are brokers, but there's some people out there that probably say, well, can I have a chance of that? Yes, you can with Precise.
Yes.
As long as you will qualify a few things that now will require. But yes, our doors are always open, even for new people.
Yeah.
Let's just have a go. Let's try.
Yeah, so there's so
New
much,
talent.
there's motivation here because we
Absolutely.
work together as a team.
Yeah.
There's no competition here that I have to beat Andy. I have to beat Alex.
No.
It's beat, bet. He's the best. There's nothing like that in Precise Protect.
No.
Precise Protect, we work together because
Yeah.
we know, we were just talking about this when we were coming, that if I try and I push Andy, me too have pushed. If Andy goes on top, I'm here. If Andy goes there, I'm
Yes.
here. So that's how we
Just
work
against
in
the board
Precise
going up
Protect.
and up,
Yeah,
yes.
it's like this. It's no.
No, it's not anyone jumping.
Yeah. It's
But
this
that's
and that and this and
It's a block that goes up and everyone
The crab
goes up.
philosophy.
Yes.
The crab's philosophy.
the crab's philosophy. Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. That's a
Climb on
nice.
top of that
Yeah.
and pull that one
That's
down.
Yeah.
that's a nice one.
Yeah.
So talking about life insurance, I know we talk about life. Is there any benefit that we can benefit apart from only when you die?
Ooh.
Well, yes, as I said, unfortunately something came to me way before. And again, it's really hard when the doctor just come to you and say, yes, Alex, you're going to have 6 months. That's it. We're going to start to do a medical treatment and then, let's see how it goes after that. So, yes, there is this benefit that now we discover terminal illness that now if you qualify that now unfortunately I did. And as you can see, I survived. So I would survive with 300,000.
300,000 in your pocket.
But okay,
Exactly.
yeah,
And that would probably have made the journey
see what I
easier.
mean? Yes, see what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah.
But apart from that, there are other companies as well that can provide some extra benefits for free. Just like now, one of them just gave you a smart health option that it is a 24-hour GP, only GP. They don't go for further investigation or diagnosis. But you pay your premium, and then your whole family. If you have your whole family, everyone that has a private GP, 24/7. They have the second opinion. So you went to GP didn't say what you want to hear. You contact that number, say, yeah. So look, I went in the toilet and I saw some blood on my pee. I said, well, you should go for further investigation, blood test, not just get paracetamol and wait 3 days. That's something else. So now most of the companies start just to give a few things extra on the policy as well. Because it starts to have this competition. One start to do it and the rest now are going to be starting to do it. So in future we're going to be seeing more. But again, all these companies also leave that available for the existing clients. So if someone has a policy with AIG in the past, so they can come back. If you have a policy with Aviva, you can go for DigiCare. If you got Royal London, you can have a helping hand. There you go.
Yeah. But
Okay.
some of these benefits also, I've noticed that they're only available through brokers.
Yep.
So if you went direct to the insurer, for example, you wouldn't get it. I know Aviva DigiCare is only through financial advisors
advisors.
and brokers like us. so you will not get it. And your Smart Health also is
Or
only
going
free.
direct for the website.
Exactly.
No.
So if you want to get those extra benefits, like Alex was saying, like that, the DigiCare, there's even one of my clients recently started using the nutritional dietitian, right? Because one of the extra benefits that this insurer was given was a dietitian option, which is one of the things that Smart
It's a
Health also
simple
provides.
thing, yes, yeah.
So she actually gave the dietitian a call, and they actually guided her. Okay, if you want to lose weight, this is what you eat. This is how you eat it. This when you eat it. And they created a plan over a long. And I thought that was excellent service.
Yeah, that's excellent.
something. I
They
would
even
to
have
think-
fitness as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
the
have
fitness.
They have
And
program.
mental health as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
mental
they
health.
have
About
mental health.
depressed,
Yeah.
and then they book you
Bereavement,
up-
they have bereavement counseling,
Yes.
counseling.
Counseling.
They have, I know there's another provider that I love using. He knows the provider. I love them so much. I'm not going to call their names because somebody will go and Google them and say, oh, I'm not going to Lydia. Let me just go to the provider themselves. But
and
they're
then
very...
get the wrong policy.
And they
Without
get
your
the
help,
wrong
yeah.
policy because they want to
Without
be
your help, yeah.
DIY, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
And they actually give a lot of benefits. They also give, they come to your house. Let's say that you've been diagnosed with a critical illness, they'll come and clean your house. So they offer cleaning, they offer shopping,
Yeah.
they offer, if you did not put
Of
your...
support. Yeah.
They offer support, and they also, if you didn't put your trust, we'll talk about this another day, trust and will.
Trust and
Is-
will.
Oh, God,
trust
yes,
and will,
oh,
that's
God,
another one
yes,
that
yeah.
people don't know. In fact, I have one of my clients 2 days ago, he said, I have insurance with this company. And then I said, do you have trust? He was like,
What's that?
what is that? I said, I'll only tell you what it is if you come to me and I review your... I'm not gonna tell you what trust is and give it to you. Come to me and I'll review your policy and then I'll give you trust. I'll put it in trust. So this other company that I was talking about, this provider, if you didn't have your policy in trust, they'll get lawyer for you for probate. They'll get lawyer for you for your estate. They will do all these things. So there's so many benefits.
Yeah.
It's not just about death. There's so many benefits that you can get with an insurance company, but you need to know the right ones, and you need to don't DIY like Andy say. You need to come through advisors, and we're not just saying come through me or come through Andy or go through Alex, but you need to find an advisor. You need to find somebody who can actually advise you properly when you're taking insurance. But insurance is very, very important. Now, do we have other types of insurance apart from life insurance? Can you just mention some that we have?
Yes, we do have, especially right now on the pandemic, is health insurance.
Health insurance.
Health insurance, as everyone here on this table know that now our manager was just found out that now he has cancer.
Yes. Yes.
And unfortunately, during the pandemic, as he privately found out through a checkup, and if he didn't have private medical, NHS wouldn't touch him. So God knows how long that would be, that cancer there, without treatment, having the risk of it spreading and everything else. That's the second one, but that's really a different level, especially because the postcode more expensive in the whole UK is London. So just because you're in London, it's average 30% more expensive because you have more options, you have more hospitals, you have more professionals, specialists. So you pay for that.
So that's private medical cover, right?
Yes, insurance.
So the factors that we have to factor in with private medical, you said is also postcode. So
Yes.
that's like
If
car
you,
insurance.
if you are in London area or
You pay
around,
more.
you pay more.
Wow.
If you're on the countryside, or even if you live in London, you don't want a London option. It's a little bit crazy, but you can go for that. Now, I don't want being in London, so if I have anything, I'll go to Cambridge because I have family there. So fine, so you can go to Cambridge if
No
you
wonder
want.
I'm paying a lot. I didn't even know this.
Sorry?
No wonder my private medical is a lot.
Yes, because it's one of the postcode more expensive.
Oh, the postcode.
Yes,
Okay.
because it's on this area that you are, you have more options, and of course, at now everything's more expensive in London.
And the benefits of having a private medical, what is the benefits of having private medical? Because I know that when I talk to a lot of people about private medical, I know I have clients who are Kenyans and they have private medical. So thank you guys for knowing the importance of it. But some people will say, oh, but why am I taking private medical? NHS is free. But they don't even realize right now we have 1.4 million people on the waiting list for minor
For
surgeries.
everything, yes.
And it's going to go up.
Yeah.
1.4 million. So if you have something right now, you have to go on the queue with NHS.
Yeah, but then also, unless you have severity on
Yeah.
that, you're not going to be
You're not
treated.
gonna be
You're not
treated.
gonna,
That's
so
no
what's
one's
the
fault.
benefit of having private medical?
First of all, is they have the best cancer treatment ever. So,
And talking of cancer, 1 in 2 people are diagnosed with cancer.
yeah, exactly. And also, either they're going to give you the best cancer treatment in all the forms and shapes. That's going to be way more quickly, and with the best drugs that know they're more effective and less aggressive on your body. So
is-
I guess
that's-
that is just like now, because most of these drugs from cancer are not available on NHS. Just one box that now our manager now is taking is about £3,000 a month.
Wow.
That is given. Now is different than actually £60 or £70 that now is going to make you ill all the time. It's going to be making worse. Because
Yeah.
when we're talking about chemotherapy, so just who had that will understand what I'm saying. That now it kills you for good and bad on your body. So you feel absolutely the worst thing in the face of earth. So as you can see, that Angie is just taking tablets, so it's absolutely
Yeah.
normal. He's normal.
He's
life.
normal.
He's
Yes,
just
normal.
feeling
He's
better.
really-
Anytime I see him in
Yeah,
the
he's
office,
even
I'm like, are you
happier
really
now.
sick? You understand?
Yeah, so he's even happier.
Yeah.
So he did not have to go for chemotherapy or radio or things like that. So that's the biggest plus. So even unfortunately, there are some cases that no, you cannot do anything else for cancer. So it's terminal. Which unfortunately, when I found out that now I was having my problems, there was someone in the ward that he was, I think, 36, 37 years old, and he had cancer on his bones. That came out in 3 months. 3 months just came like that. So he was absolutely in agony. NHS did not have any more drugs to give him to relieve his pain. So he was
Oh.
shouting, screaming on like that was the last night that I was in the hospital.
Wow.
So that is, if nothing else, that is the major thing that now, at least if you have a PMI, even the cheapest one, you have something like that with dignity. So you have to do that. Another thing that now, yes, as most of people think, oh, can have all that for free. Yes, you can have everything for free, and that, yes, is good. Actually, NHS is as good as private medical in my country, to be honest, because public health in Brazil is not that good. But you have just to keep them waiting on the list. So especially London is a long waiting list.
Yes.
So sometimes now you don't have time. So like now you, Lydia, you have 3 kids. So do you have time to be 6 months, 7 months
Nah,
not working?
no time for that.
Just to do. So you just go have that done. So that's clear. You got. If you have time to wait, that's fine. Just keep that waiting. But you never know exactly what consequences you'll be bringing for waiting on that list.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not.
Yeah, and also with private medical, I know that there's always a second opinion, because one of our colleagues, she had a friend who was diagnosed with cancer, and with NHS, she was diagnosed with cancer, given treatment, told the treatment plan and everything, but she just felt like, I need a second opinion, but she didn't have insurance, so she didn't have private medical. Who was going to give a second opinion? They told her you have to wait for another 6 weeks. So she just paid for private.
No, they do.
She paid £3,000 for private. But if she was paying every month, she wouldn't have paid that £3,000. They found out she didn't even have cancer.
Oh my God.
Of course.
So if she had
That's-
cancer, she could have started the treatment with NHS, and then she didn't have cancer. Now she could have died because she would be taking wrong medication.
Yeah, because
She
as I
could have
said,
died
it's
from
really
that.
aggressive.
Yeah, she could have died from
Yeah,
that.
because it's really aggressive, as I
It's
said.
very-
So
yeah.
when you take chemotherapy, that's something that now is just the worst thing ever that you can actually take. That
Yeah.
now just make you feel
But,
absolutely
yeah,
horrible.
horrible. So what else is there apart from life insurance, private medical? Do we have anything else?
Yeah, you have critical illness and income protection. I mean, for me, income protection is one of my favorite, because your income pays for everything. So, like I was saying from the beginning, even if you're saying that I'm going to take X percentage of my income every year to protect the rest of my living expenses, just makes common sense. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? So income insurance or income protection is basically saying this is how much I earn on a monthly basis, and I would like to insure it, so just in case I'm ill, my income still keeps coming in. So what will happen in the case of where Alex was saying you had your episode with leukemia and all of that, if you were unable to work, it will pay you every single month until you get back to work. So you always have an income. There's something always coming in to pay for the normal expenses. Your children's fees don't have to stop. The little classes they go don't have to stop. Those things
Your
can
rent.
still.
So
your
yeah,
rent,
your
rent,
rent,
your
your rent, in fact,
Your rent, your food.
your food.
Yeah,
rent and
everything.
food, that's the most important thing. Children can stop going for ballet, but rent and food is paid for.
Yes.
So that is
has to
still,
be sorted. You know?
so that is still there. So we have what other thing as well? So we have critical illness as well. You spoke about critical illness. So how does critical illness work?
Well, different than the life
Just
insurance.
because we're running out of time.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Life is just mainly pays if you die. Let's put it this way. But if you don't die, that's what critical illness comes in. Because now we can have cancer, and today, thanks God, the technology, as sometimes helps or don't. But that comes quite stronger today. That now you're not necessarily gonna die, but you have to be out of job because now, as I said, what's available depends when you have. It's gonna be taking you 6 months, 7 months, 1 year for you to feel better. In my case, it took more than 1 year. And while you're doing this treatment, the income protection, or would some say salary or wages insurance, so they keep paying you amount of money until you're ready to come back to work. Let's say that now if you have an accident, that now you lose one of your arms or legs or something, and you have a policy that goes up to 60 years old. So every month for 20, 30 years, depends on what age you have. So that policy is going to be paying that amount, that salary, even that now you're just able to do any other kind of work, but you're not able to come back on your own.
You just repeated income protection. I
Yes.
was actually asking about critical illness.
Oh, sorry, critical illness, yes. Critical illness, yes. Critical illness is, as I said, the cancer, so it's not going to be treating, but you have a cover. Of course, that now is a more expensive policy. But you find out that now if you have cancer, if you have a stroke, if you have a heart attack, if you have a failure in kidneys or something, that now you're going to be that, so the policy comes and pays of the amount.
So it's a one-off payment.
Yes, one-off.
Okay.
Yes. That is enough for you just to treat yourself in somewhere else that you want.
Yes.
If you're in Kenya, so yes, I know a best doctor, so I'm going to be in Kenya doing that. Or now I'm going to be bringing someone that to help me heal my family. Or no, I'm just going to be relaxing during after that. So pay my expense, whatever it is that you need.
Because I know yes, there's NHS if you don't have critical, but with critical illness, I know that you if you're sick, some people can even say we all know that in India we have the best doctors. So people always say, oh, I want to go to India for treatment, because I've seen even people in the UK that there's GoFundMe for somebody to go somewhere else for treatment. So if you have critical illness, they give you a one-off payment of 40,000, 50,000, 100,000, depending with how much money you're paying every
Depends
month
on your budget.
on your budget. So you can use this money to now go to India, or you can go to Germany, or you can go to America for treatment. So that's critical illness. So guys, as we wind up, we do have different policies. We do have, it's not just about life insurance, so don't be scared. Oh God, I don't want to die. I don't want to hear about that. Oh, I don't want that insurance. No, we do have different things in place. So we have things like life insurance, which is, yes, very, very important. And we also have critical illness, which is a one-off payment. So if you want to know more about this, just contact us. And we also have income protection, which is very good because it protects your income when you're out of work, but only due to sickness, injury, or accident. Don't fire yourself and say, I have income protection. Yay, I have income protection. So this boss is not a good boss. Let me fire myself. Nah, you're on your own. And then we also have private medical cover as well. And we also have something called building and contents, which we didn't talk about, but that is also important to protect your contents and to protect your building as well, and especially from fire, flood, things like that. So if you have properties in your house and they're damaged because of flood or fire, payment will be done. But make sure every time you get insurance, make sure you get the best advice, because insurance people are out there to make sure they do not pay. So for you not to fall prey, make sure you don't do DIY. Make sure you get an advisor to advise you. And if you want the best advisor, and I'm not saying this because I'm in Precise Protect, but if you come to Precise Protect, what you can do is shop around. Shop around from every insurance brokers. We have a lot of them. But I'm telling you, your journey, you'll still come back to Precise Protect, because we do have a percentage that we give naturally. It comes naturally from your quote. And we also have incentives that we give. And we have a lot of policies, in-house policies that other brokers don't have. So, but you're allowed to shop around. We are not that greedy and say, come here, or you go to hell. Nah, we're not like that. We're not like that. So before we finish, Alex, I'll start with you. If you can just tell people out there how they can contact you. If you ever want to hear more about insurance, or you want to contact any of us, of course, it's 3 of us here. So if you want to contact Alex, he's going to give you his details. So Alex.
Hi, anything that now, of course, that known leaders, the tremendous colleague, can be through her if you need any help, especially with PMI, that's private medical insurance. But my phone number is 077 955 13976. But just coming through Lydia, please now, if you need anything else, just let us know.
Okay, so Alex actually specializes in private medical. So if you want private medical at any time, he'll give you the 100% advice. If you come to me, I'll still send you to Alex, because I don't really do private medical.
Yes.
And I'll repeat his number. I'll repeat his number again. So that's 077 955 13976, right?
Perfect.
Okay. So thank you very much, Alex, for even coming in today.
Thank you.
And Andy.
Yes. So if you want to reach out to me, I'll just give my number. That's 07895 625 269. Anything with general insurance. Again, if it's private medical, it goes to this big boss here. Anything aside from that, we're happy to help. Okay, so Andy specializes in all the other things that we all specialize in. They specialize in all other things. But if you want Andy to give you advice, and Andy is actually from Ghana, so if you have any Ghanaian watching this and you feel like, I just want to go to my person, because sometimes there's that feel of, I'm going to go to my person. So when you want to speak your language in there, you can do that. And Alex as well is from Brazil. So if there's anybody from Brazil who feels like, I'm not very good, I will not understand it really well, unless somebody speaks my language, which we all do anyway, you can go to Alex. He's from Brazil. And Andy's number, I'm going to repeat that again, is 0789 562 5269, right? Yeah, I think so. 0789 625 269.
What?
07895 625 269.
Ah, okay, I got it right. Okay. And for me, if you want to contact me, of course, you guys know my number. You know where to get me. You can get me on Facebook, Lydia Tet Olet. Just write me a message and push. I'll write to you back, or my number. To be honest, I don't even know my number offhand. That's embarrassing. But I do not know my number offhand, so I'm not gonna say. It's not like I don't want to give my number. If you go out there, you'll find my number. But I don't know it offhand. To be honest, I won't lie. But if you message me on Lydia Tet Olet, definitely I'll always get back to you. So thank you very much once again for watching. Stand out, speak up. That is what this thing is all about. Stand out, speak up. I always tell people, don't fit in, because by you fitting in a crowd, that means that you have to do what the crowd is doing. But I always say stand out, so that the crowd will only follow you, because then you're standing out. You're not following people. So you're not a follower, but you're a leader. So that's what we do every Wednesday. We train leaders, but not followers. So thank you very much for joining in again. Until next week on Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m. Even though today we were late a little bit, but it's every Wednesday, 6 p.m. UK time and 8 p.m. Kenyan time. Until then, I'll always log out with saying, it can only be God. See ya. Love you guys. Bye.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them. At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.